Every year, the world spends $1.6 trillion. That's $1,600 billion on weapons. That doesn't count the cost of the damage that those weapons do when used. So when they're used, then it does more damage, more cost. The landmines that they spoke about that are left in place after a conflict, more damage. The people who come back from these conflicts and are damaged for life, social costs. Between that and the trillions that are being given to bail out banks, the public sector is using its resources nationally in an incorrect fashion. We all know that we're on the brink of a crisis on this planet. We all know that we need to move towards a sustainable future. We cannot continue to sustain this kind of military expenditure. We've got to begin shifting resources away from the military and putting it into building a sustainable society. We have to do that. The Cold War is over. We don't have the need for all these weapons anymore. But we have to think back to Dwight Eisenhower, who, when he left the presidency in 1960 of the United States, a former general who had won World War II, he warned us at that time about the military-industrial complex. And now that military-industrial complex and the influence it has in politics is changing the dynamic such that people cannot even consider the kinds of military cuts that need to happen. Well, the population of the world needs to begin to push back about this. No more can we accept the cutting of social services, health, social services. No more can we afford to say we can't afford to move on to a sustainability path. We have the resources to do this. It's a matter of making it a human priority. And that means that we have to make it a popular issue. We have to get out of the notion of simply asking and start telling politicians that it's time for change. We cannot go forward and build a sustainable future if we don't tackle the kinds of resources and expenditures that are being spent on armaments. This is about our children's future, our grandchildren's future, and generations to come. The disaster that is left behind as a consequence of these military expenditures, contaminated sites, landmines strewn everywhere, this will last for generations. It's time for change. It's time for change now. It's time for national leaders to finally say, we have to begin scaling this back and prioritizing human needs. That's what the World Mayors Council on Climate Change voted in Belo Horizonte. That's what the ICNIC World Congress voted unanimously in Belo Horizonte. We need this change now. No longer can we accept that we don't have adequate resources. We have adequate resources. They're being misspent because huge financial interests are putting their capital interests before the interests of people. And the people have to decide, time for change now. Thank you.